Pay attention to your pain. Reach out and find your comfort. Take a walk and play some music. Make the time to start the healing. Let the healing begin. Let the healing begin. Look to the sky and breathe it in. Look to the sky and breathe it in. Feel the sunshine on your skin. Feel the sunshine on your skin. And let your life resume again. And let your life resume again. Pay attention to your pain. Reach out, find your comfort. Take a walk and play some music. Make the time to start the healing. Let the healing begin. Let the healing begin. Look to the sky and breathe it in. Look to the sky and breathe it in. Feel the sunshine on your skin. Feel the sunshine on your skin. And let your life resume again. And let your life resume again. Pay attention to your pain. Reach out and find your comfort. Take a walk and play some music. Make the time to start the healing. Let the healing begin. Let the healing begin. Look to the sky and breathe it in. Look to the sky and breathe it in. Feel the sunshine on your skin. Feel the sunshine on your skin. And let your life resume again. And let your life resume again. For this day, Spirit, thank you for this day. Thank you for this day, Spirit, thank you for this day. This healing, this healing, this healing day. This healing, this healing, this healing day. Thank you for this day, Spirit, thank you for this day. Thank you for this day, Spirit, thank you for this day. This healing, this healing, this healing day. This healing, this healing, this healing day. Thank you for my friends, Spirit, thank you for my friends. Thank you for my friends, Spirit, thank you for my friends. My wonderful, my wonderful, my wonderful friends. My wonderful, my wonderful, my wonderful friends. Thank you for my health, Spirit, thank you for my health. Thank you for my health, Spirit, thank you for my health. My radiant, my radiant, my radiant health. My radiant, my radiant, my radiant health. Thank you for this day, Spirit, thank you for this day. Thank you for this day, Spirit, thank you for this day. This healing, this healing, this healing day. This healing, this healing, this healing day. Thank you for this day, Spirit, thank you for this day.
Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. And thank you for joining us here at Unity Spiritual Center for our last Zoom Sunday service of 2020. I am so glad that you found us. We've also got people joining us on Facebook, and just truly grateful that we've been able to stay connected through new means of technology during this time. I want you to know, if you see me look over to the side, what I'm doing is looking at all of your faces. Um, I keep all of you in my prayers. And again, I'm so grateful that we've been able to stay together during this time. One thing to note before we get started, as you already know if you've been here before, and that is that as you're coming in, we're putting you on mute. And that is so you don't have to worry about any background noise. There's going to be two exceptions to that. One is when I ask for a volunteer to read the daily word, and the other is when we do our prayer service and ask if anybody wants to say a prayer aloud. At that time, we'll be able to unmute you if you'd like to speak it to your spiritual family here. And I want to tell you right now up front that you might need a piece of paper and a pen or pencil, something to write with during the lesson. So I want you to go ahead and start looking around, grabbing that right now, because you might want to have it when we talk a little bit later about joy. But for now, I invite you just to take a deep breath wherever you are as we go within our inner sanctuary where we are always safe, guided, and at peace. Just take this time to let go of any worries or concerns, whatever it is you were working on before you got here or have to do after you leave. For now, just put it down as you connect virtually with all of us in this community and with the God of your understanding. Here at Unity Spiritual Center, we celebrate the truth that our God is love, as expressed in Unity's foundation statement, which is on the screen before us and which you're invited to say with me. There is only one presence and one power, active as the universe and as my life, God the good, omnipotent. So take another deep breath now, become comfortable, and gently release any cares of the day. Because the only thing that you need to do in this hour is to open yourself up to the love and goodness of the divine as you relax into this sacred time and space in the virtual sanctuary of Unity Spiritual Center. For almost 75 years now, we at Unity Spiritual Center have celebrated and honored people of every culture, of every creed, of every religion, of every race, of every age, and every lifestyle, knowing that there are many paths to God, many faces of God, many names for God, but only one God. Seeing through eyes of oneness and acknowledging our oneness, we know that God indwells all people and is expressed through each of us in unique, special, and individual ways. Unity offers positive, practical, progressive spiritual teachings and tools that honor the universal truth in all religions and respects each individual's right to choose a spiritual path. And now I'm going to do what we do every Sunday, and that is to give you a visual aid for what I just said. And that is to show you the lit worship candle. And we do this so that you can remember that you are a divine flame. You have a divine flame within as an individualized spark of God, an individualized expression of God, and that God does God's work in the world through the movements of your hands and your heart. Our vision here at Unity Spiritual Center and the opportunity for you and for each one of us here is that you discover the power within you to create the life of your dreams, that you have peace of mind and deep happiness, that you enjoy joyous and loving relationships with yourself, with spirit, and with others, that you spend your days doing what you love and feel called to do, even if it's just for a portion of your day. And most of all, that you know that your life matters, that you make a difference, and that the world is a better place because you're here. So let's pause now to listen and hear another beautiful selection performed by USC's music director, Michael Hatfield.
So before I start singing this song, I'd like to explain this song. This is called The Song of Joy. It was written by Sandra Silver, who was a uh, former member or whatever that used to show up quite a bit. And over the years, I got to know her just a little bit. And one day she confided in me. She goes, when I'm at work and I'm stressed out, I make up little songs in my head to get me through the day. And I said, would you mind sharing them? And she goes, oh my God, no, I'm not a musician. I don't sing. They're just, they're in my head. And I said, well, if you don't mind, I would like to help or try to do that. And so what I convinced her to do, I said, well, I have one phone line at my house that I don't generally answer. It's my old landline, but I still keep it. And it's connected to a recording box. And so if you ever feel that you want to share, you can call that number and just sing what you have in your head over the phone. And so I didn't think much of it after that. I'd given my best shot. But then a couple of weeks later, all of a sudden, there's the sound of this voice on my phone singing this song. This is my song, I now begin. A joy I know, a light within, a song of joy, a wondrous glow. Of joy within, of joy within, a joy I know, a joy I know. A joy I feel, a joy I know, a joy within, a wondrous flow. I know, a wondrous glow of joy within, of joy within, a joy I know, a joy I know. And Marcy, we're going to sing it again from the very top. This is my song, I now begin. A joy I know, a light within, a song of joy, a wondrous glow. Of joy within, of joy within, a joy I know, a joy I know. A joy I feel, a joy I know, a joy within, a wondrous flow. I know, a wondrous glow of joy within, of joy within, a joy I know, a joy I know. Melody by Sandra Silver, arrangement by Michael Hatfield.
Thank you, Michael. I For those of you who may remember Sandra, I did actually uh, send her a message. We are Facebook friends, and now and then she'll check in with me. And I sent her a message this week to let her know that we were singing her song. She's living in Guatemala now, so it may be difficult to uh, plug in internationally. Coming from Guatemala, I don't know, but she did know that we were singing her song this week. So um, let's give her some appreciation for giving us that song, and for Michael always for singing it. So now, as we continue to get comfortable and relax even more deeply into this time of worship, prayer, and meditation, let us open our hearts to receive the message of today's daily word. I see Kira with her arm raised high. Kira, can you read the daily word for us? Excellent. I'm going to put a spotlight on you. Kira is coming all the way from Florida. She and her family have moved to Florida, so it is so lovely to see you. And we are blessed that you will be reading the daily word today.
Oh, there we go. Release. I take the best and leave the rest. My experiences of this past year have brought me gifts of insight, new perspectives, many chances to grow and stretch myself, and perhaps the opportunity to develop a skill that serves me in my work or brings greater enjoyment to my leisure time. Some experiences have been painful or difficult. These too have offered their gifts. I accept all that has come my way. With gratitude, I bless it all. I find the gifts and release what no longer serves my growth. Assured that God is my dependable source, I release any pain of a financial setback. In the joy of restored health, I release any memory of illness. Grateful for all modes of connection, I release any pain of loneliness. I move forward feeling lighter, cleansed, and renewed for my journey forward. From Isaiah 43 to 18. Do not remember the former things or consider the things of old.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Kira, for reading the daily word for us. Always wonderful to see you. Unity Spiritual Center is a center of prayer and healing. And during this time of shelter in place, please know that you are always welcome to call in and leave a prayer request on our uh, voicemail message line. Uh, Write it to us in a snail mail card or letter, or email it to us. Jerry will put the contact information in the chat for you. And let's just know for all of our family, our spiritual family, that no matter what they might be facing at this time, we can know with and for them that divine love is enfolding them, and that divine order is taking place in each of their lives. And now is the time to make our prayers audible and to share your prayer needs with your spiritual family here, so that we can support you and stand with you. If you have a particular prayer request, feel free to speak it aloud if you'd like to. And to do that, all you need to do is just wave your hand in front of the webcam. I'll be scrolling uh, throughout this time, or you can also put it in the chat. And I know we've already gotten a couple in the chat. So after we speak the prayer request, either through the chat or individually aloud, we will follow it up with the wonderful line from our prayer song, "Your prayer is my prayer too." And Michael will now remind us how that beautiful song goes.
We are connected by the heart. Where do you end Where do I start? Whatever you feel, I feel too. You're a part of me, I'm a part of you. Your prayer is my prayer too. Your prayer is my prayer too.
So the first prayer request we have comes from Lauren. The catalytic converter in his car was stolen last week for the second time since August. And Lauren is asking for prayers for a satisfactory resolution and that the thefts stop.
Your prayer is my prayer too.
Valerie is asking for prayers for her sister Aileen and her niece Alyssa to heal from COVID.
Your prayer is my prayer too.
And Ethel is asking for prayers for her brother-in-law Kenneth, who is experiencing many health challenges.
Your prayer is my prayer too.
And Shirley is asking for prayers for herself in healing the inflammation in her right eye.
Your prayer is my prayer too.
And Kathy is asking for prayers for Douglas, that he is healing, and for her brother Jimmy, successful results from his hip surgery.
Your prayer is my prayer too.
And Susan is asking for prayers for her daughter-in-law as she grieves the loss of her aunt last week from COVID, and also prayers for her cousins who are grieving as they recover from COVID.
Your prayer is my prayer too.
And Annette is asking for prayers for her family in Europe since there is another strain of COVID-19. She's asking for prayers for perseverance and health for all of the first responders and for all of us. And prayers also for her stepdad that they can see him soon.
Your prayer is my prayer too.
And Kathy Russell had emailed me before the service to ask for prayers for her family, particularly her younger son.
Your prayer is my prayer too.
Now I'm going to scroll just to see if there's any prayer requests that you might like to speak aloud. Juanita, I see your hand raised, so please do go ahead.
I'd like to have prayers said for family members in the Bain and Burns family for passing of one of their loved ones this week. Thank you.
Your prayer is my prayer too.
Is there anyone else who'd like to speak a prayer request aloud? Again, I'm scrolling. Feel free to. I see Judy's hand up. All right, Judy, please
My
go ahead.
friend Elena's mother-in-law died from COVID this week, and just prayers for her and for her husband who lost his mom.
Yeah, thank you.
Your prayer is my prayer too.
Anyone else like to speak a prayer aloud or write it in the chat? Well, we also have a time in our service where we open it up for you to express your gratitudes, things that you feel blessed by or are grateful for, this is your time to share that with your spiritual family so we can celebrate with you. Karen from Switzerland, making us an international community. Please go ahead.
Thank you. I just want to say I am grateful for the postal system worldwide, that there are unseen people who are delivering love at this time of year, and especially because so many of us are at home. I got my packages, the last ones arrived on Christmas Eve from my cousins in Germany. And really, there's just so much love in the packages themselves, in the cards, and so forth. And I am just so grateful that we have the system that is working around the world to deliver so much love.
Thank you so much, Karen. And as always, we are so grateful that you can join us from the other side of the world. And Valerie is expressing gratitude that she and Michael have been able to spend the holidays with Zane, their son Zane. And Mary is expressing gratitude for continued good health of family and friends, and for the time they've had in San Francisco with their daughter and her precious kittens. Kittens make everything better, don't they? Who else has something to celebrate or just share with your spiritual family here? I see a kitty behind Brock right now and an awesome library. I'm having library envy. Anything else that anybody would like to share? Annette is expressing gratitude for all the blessings that they have for their family and friends. Ruben is expressing gratitude for the Unity community. And Shirley is expressing gratitude for family and friends for who showed her so much love on Christmas Day and throughout the holidays. Anything? Oh, and Ruben, I'm going to take you off. There you go.
Joe is the one that expressed gratefulness for the Unity community, which I also am grateful for. I just wanted to share the gratefulness of green leaves and trees and water, beautiful grounds of Golden Gate Park.
Beautiful. Thank you, Ruben. That's wonderful. And Marcy is expressing gratitude for Lynn that she's been able to spend Christmas with her and feeling so loved. Ethel is so grateful that her daughter Holly got an adorable puppy. I don't know if you have a puppy in your room that you want to hold up to the camera, but we love all animal sightings. Judy's got a gratitude. I'm going to put the spotlight on you, Judy.
I'm gratitude for Zoom because it actually has brought us together as a family more than we would have, and including my boyfriend's family in England. We normally don't Zoom, but this year a lot more Zooms, a lot more people seeing each other. I'm grateful.
Awesome. Thank you. We are grateful for Zoom for sure. We've been able to stay together as a spiritual family because of it. All right. Anything else? Last call for gratitudes. I'm scrolling down just to see if anybody's hand is up. Okay.
I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed.
We give thanks for this ability just to bless each other with our prayers and our gratitudes. We give thanks for the knowledge that when we ask, it will be given to us. When we seek, we will find. When we knock, the door will be open to us. We give thanks for the feelings of peace and comfort that fill our hearts and minds right now, even meeting virtually. We give thanks for those feelings of connection. And as always, we give thanks for the privilege of praying for others in our community, in our nation, and our world. And we affirm that always and in all ways, no matter what the circumstances may be, or no matter what the appearances are, we know that divine love and divine order is everywhere present. And so it is. Amen.
And I think, Marcy, it could be that I made a mistake here. Why don't you check and see what that lyric is? Because this, the lyric should be joy in the world as opposed to joy to the world. But either way, I can explain it away if I did that wrong. And I'm checking that out right now, and to see if we can actually do this on the fly. I'm not seeing me having that open at one point, so I think that could be a mistake on my end. So it's a mea culpa if that is the case. I'm going to do a quick fly in here. So, and while we're doing this, I can't believe I'm actually doing this, but we're going to go for it and see if we can come up with it. And let's see if it just surfaces to the top, and then I'll share the lyrics if I can pull this off. And I see it shows up in the right way, that way. We're going to find it. But if it doesn't surface, which is not surfacing at this moment, we're just going to go for it, and that's what we're doing. So this song I wrote a while back, and it's about unity, and it's about joy in the world. And off we go to our little races, and it kind of sounds like this. I can feel the power of one. It has helped me before. Two can make me happier still. There could even be more. Three is stronger than standing alone. Four holds open the door. Five can get the impossible done. Six is hard to ignore. For when we're all together in peace and unity, we will create such joy in the world. Let's make it last forever, this love and harmony. We will raise such joy in the world. God can work in mysterious ways. Sometimes I have to laugh. I find myself in the middle of things that seem to be blocking my path. Somehow a connection is made, and this is where I should be. Everyone is part of the plan. It's so easy to see that when we're all together in peace and unity, we will create such joy in the world. Let's make it last forever, this love and harmony. We will raise such joy in the world. And when we're all together in peace and unity, we will create such joy in the world. Joy in the world. Okay, sorry about the lyrics. I know I probably attached joy to the world by a total accident, and but there's the song, Joy in the World.
Thank you, Michael. And a beautiful song it was. We appreciate always your wonderful contributions to our service. And if you want to express love to Michael through your reaction buttons or clapping in the webcam, just let him know how much you appreciate him. So, joy, joy. The philosopher and priest Pierre Teilhard de Chardin said, "Joy is the infallible sign of the presence of God." I'll repeat that. Joy is the infallible sign of the presence of God. So, to conclude our Advent series on hope and faith, peace, love, and now joy, I want to see what brings you joy. So I'm going to do something I haven't done in a service before, and that is to ask for your contributions in the chat right now. Use the chat to let us know what brings you joy. Just go ahead and type in some things that bring you joy. And I'm going to wait for nature. Excellent, Valerie. Sure, a lot of people would agree with that. Family, Jerry, thank you. Baby bunnies, Dee Dee and Coco, fresh air on a mountaintop, bird song, awesome music, and time with loved ones, kittens, pets, music, animals and babies, taking walks with someone's mom, dance, Christmas lights, good health, music, children, big smiles, awesome. Taking care of animals, that's a common one that we have a lot of animal lovers in our community. Walks in the forest, aw, me. Cats and dogs, creating art. Oh, this is wonderful. So you get the idea. These are all wonderful, wonderful examples of joy. And doesn't it make you feel joy just to read what everybody's saying? I mean, as you read things like, sunsets and unity, connecting with friends, beaches, rain, these wonderful things that are part of our world, doesn't it bring you joy just to read what they are, even if somebody else listed it? So clearly, as we can see, joy is the infallible sign of the presence of God, and it's part of the spiritual life, or it's meant to be. And that's why we included it as part of our mission statement at USC, that joy is a wonderful outpouring when we're connected to spirit. It's listed in scripture as one of the fruits of the spirit. And so I see these wonderful joy listings coming in. Feel free to keep them going for as long as we do. It's wonderful to see what people's joys are. And as we look at this, it might be helpful to distinguish between happiness and joy. We often use them interchangeably, but I think there is a deeper distinction that can be made. Because our happiness often depends on something outside of ourselves. So good weather, your favorite sports team winning a championship, hearing your favorite song on the radio, getting a check in the mail, those are things that make us happy. Joy, on the other hand, is more of an internal state. It's not dependent on someone or something happening to you. It's generated from the inside. And very often it has to do with choices that one has made, big choices and little choices. So to give you an idea of what I'm talking about here, this distinction between happiness and joy, when my teenage daughter cleans up her room, that makes me happy. Something happened outside of me, something was done by someone else that made me happy. But what brings me joy is having a daughter, and in particular, having the daughter that I do. So that's something that is not contingent on whether or not she cleans her room. It just is. It's just part of my internal being. So hopefully that helps a little bit to explain the difference between happiness and joy. And I wanted to play with the theory because my teacher and mentor, the cross-cultural anthropologist Angeles Arian, who we've spent all year studying, once said that cross-culturally, the two things that are continued to be, the two things that are considered to be the purpose of life are to love and to create. That is what cross-culturally people have found to be the two motivations or the two feelings, two actions that bring purpose to one's life, to love and to create. And the example I just gave you is an illustration of that. My love for my daughter, for being a mother, brings me joy, great joy. And as you know, I love to create. For me, it does take the form of expressive arts, writing and making art, but creating could also be so many other things. Creating a garden, or cooking, or creating a book club, or a social service project. To me, creating is anything that brings into form something that wasn't there before. And so if you look at some of these answers that people were brought, you can see that a lot of them fall into these two categories of love and creation. But I want to give you another opportunity to explore what fills your life with joy. I'm going to take you through an exercise, and this is why I mentioned that you might want to have a piece of paper and a pencil handy. So again, if you weren't able to grab one, I'm going to say grab one now because we're going to do a quick exercise. And Kira, yeah, having a new year and a new start, we're going to talk about that for sure. So this is an exercise that comes from Adventures on the Quest, which is a Unity class that a number of people in our community, I'm sure, have taken. And it was created by a husband and wife team, Mary Alice and Richard Jafala. Now they say that joy is always an inside job, and they lead you through a few questions to help you pinpoint what it is that brings you joy. So let's spend just a few minutes on these questions. And again, if you have a piece of paper handy, you can write your responses on it. If you don't, it's short enough. I'm sure you'll be able to remember your responses. So let's begin. What physical act brings you the most joy and why? Now, there are probably many physical things that you do that bring you joy. I think we saw a few of them, didn't we? Didn't somebody say hiking or being on a mountaintop, eating, dancing, doing a hobby, walking the dogs and petting a cat? All of those are physical acts that bring us joy. So again, just for your own reference, use that piece of paper to write down some of the physical acts of joy. I should say maybe the physical acts that bring you the most joy. What are the physical acts that bring you the most joy? And then consider what emotional thought or feeling brings you the most joy and why. So this could include the feelings you get when you are with a special person in your life. And we saw a number of special people listed in the chat. It could be the feeling of satisfaction with a job well done. But just think about What emotional thought or feeling brings you the most joy? And if you can, explain why. And then ask yourself what spiritual sensation brings you the most joy. And again, why? Now, perhaps you've had a spiritual insight in meditation or while listening to a lesson that brought you great joy. Maybe it's listening to sacred music or entering an amazing sacred space. But just take time now to note what spiritual sensation brings you the most joy. And if you can, jot down why. And now compare the joy that you feel in each of those areas. Is there one that's more special? Which is the most special? And how can you make that joy more dominant in your life? You know, that's really the point in doing what we just did. It's to be aware of those things that bring us joy, and that they encompass things across all spectrums of our life, as we just saw: physical, emotional, spiritual, and more. And the Jafalas go on to say that true joy, since it comes from within, is always waiting to be experienced. So let's get even more joy. Right now, just begin to relax your body and your mind. And think of the word joy as you inhale and exhale each breath. Inhale joy, exhale joy. And silently, just allow those feelings of joy to bubble up from deep within you, sweeping through every cell of your body. Think of all the things you wrote on your paper. Think of all the things you saw in the chat that also give you joy. Feel free to add any more that come up as you sit in this joyous state for a few minutes. So many things are available to us always to bring us joy. And now, making a few more notes if you want to, slowly come back to the present reality and bring that buoyancy of joy along with you. And just note, how was that for you? And did it bring you more joy? Did it feel good to think about the things that bring you joy? And did anyone discover something new? Something else that brought them joy that was noted by someone in this community? And again, if you want to use the chat box, feel free to share any new joys that might have popped up. The thing is, joy is meant to be our natural state. We are meant to be joy-filled. And here at Unity Spiritual Center, as I mentioned, it's part of our mission statement. We'll be saying that in a few minutes. It's part of our mission statement to be joy-filled. One of my favorite passages in Scripture is Philippians 4:8. I have a little pillow with these words embroidered on it, and I actually brought it to the church. You may have seen it. Finally, brothers and sisters, whatever is true, whatever is noble, whatever is right, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is admirable, if anything is excellent or praiseworthy, think about such things. And if you're not feeling the joy, work with those instructions. Think about what is true, lovely, excellent in your life and in the world around you. We have a plethora of things that have come in the chat. Cobbler desserts, I love it. Pasta, my husband's pasta. Pan dulce, yummy hot chocolate. Wow. And those were just food items. There's many, many more things too. So many things that bring us joy. So, using what you just uncovered as a starting point, keep noticing throughout the week what brings you joy. Think about the people, the places, and the things that you love. And think about the things in your life that you have created, whether they're art or organizations. Use the notes that you took today as a starting point for your reflections. And maybe start a joy list. If you don't already have one, start a list of all the things that bring you joy, a joy list that you can refer to whenever you need a shot of joy in your life. Particularly in times like this, when we face some very serious problems as a society, we need to keep joy in mind, to choose joy, and to keep choosing it in as many aspects of life as we can. And one final thought, a practice that is vital to the cultivation of joy-filled living is the practice of gratitude. If you worked at all with the Thanksgiving gratitude journal that we sent out, then you may have recently experienced that. If not, let's spend this last week of 2020, a very bad year, I think we all can agree, by ending it on an up note and nourishing our joy, thinking of what brings us joy, listing and or journaling about what gives us joy, focusing on what is true, excellent, and lovely in our lives, and always, always counting our blessings, seeing how full our lives are right now, feeling grateful for all that we have. Because when we do that, we tap into joy. One of the most profound quotations to sum all this up comes from Brother David Stendal-Rost, who probably some of you have heard me quote before, or perhaps you're familiar with his website, which I highly recommend. It's gratefulness.org. And there's just a treasure trove of resources on gratitude. And this is what Brother David had to say. The root of joy is gratefulness. It is not joy that makes us grateful. It is gratitude that makes us joyful. And so it is. Thank you, God. So as I move to create some meditation music, I invite you to continue to be in a relaxed pose. And for the meditation today, I'm going to be reading words from an article that I found on unity.org that focuses on joy and seems like a perfect meditation for this Christmas week. So as I read these words, I invite you to hold them in your heart and affirm them as being the truth of your being. No matter what has occurred before, this is a new day, a new hour, and a new moment. You hold of joy on the wings of prayer and find yourself lifted into lightness, peace, and courage. You are a child of the living God, meant to express happiness, meant to radiate beauty and serenity as bright and lovely as the rays of the morning sun, meant to embody the music and harmony of the universe. Joy is your gift from God, and it is not dependent on what occurred 10 years ago, a month ago, yesterday, or last night. Joy belongs to you, whether you know it or not. It is yours now to discover, to use, to exercise, and to bring into expression. The gift of joy is innate within us and can be aroused. Paul says, stir up the gift of God which is in thee. Stir it up with the words, I will sing a new song. You can and you will find a wellspring of joy within you that you never dreamed existed. You need not wait until some future time to become aware of this inner joy. You need not wait for it to come to you through some person, particular thing, or attainment. Do not postpone your joy for another moment. Sing a new song of joy today, this hour, this minute. Sing for the joy of the Christ teachings. Sing for the joy of knowing that you are a child of the living God. Sing for the joy knowing that your loved ones also are children of the living God. Sing for the joy of knowing that you are a spiritual being, immortal, indestructible, changeless, and perfect. A song of joy is your divine birthright, and a life abundant is your heritage. Sing a new song this day, a song of joy, and your thoughts will sparkle, your presence will be radiant, and your life will be like the shining sun. And so it is. And so it is. Amen. So as you begin to come back to the present moment, to this space and time, remember all the things that you brought to mind today, because they can be brought to mind at any time. Joy is your birthright, and may you live joy every day of your life. Amen. So here at Unity Spiritual Center, talk about joy. And all I need to do is find out what I did with with my script. How wonderful. All right, Marcy, I'm counting on you, girl. I know you did the slides. Here at Unity Spiritual Center, we are an ocean of love. Here at Unity Spiritual Center, we are let's do it again. We are an ocean of love. And I am serious. I cannot find there we go. All right. Saved by the paper trail. Here at Unity Spiritual Center. I was so into my joy, I couldn't even find what I did with it. I hope you were too. Here at Unity Spiritual Center, we have an inspiring vision, an exciting mission, and compelling values by which we strive to live. And I invite you to say those things with me. It looks like we don't have a slide, and that's okay. You've probably heard this so many times, you can wing it. Our vision is centered in God. We co-create a world powerfully transformed through the growing movement of shared spiritual awakening. Our mission is we are a creative, joy-filled, remember, that's part of our mission. We are a creative, joy-filled spiritual community dedicated to healing, inspiring, and transforming the lives of all people through prayer, education, and love. And our values are, we are spirit-led, generous with resources, inclusive, joyously creative, and guided by integrity. And feeling inspired by our vision, our mission, and our values, feeling enriched by what we've experienced here today and what we will continue to experience during our hospitality hour after the service. Let us take time now to be a channel for enrichment through our generous tithes and love offerings. So as Michael shares another beautiful song, please do take that time to write out a check to USC or to donate to us through our link, our PayPal link that Jerry has just put in the chat, if you'd like to make a donation online. And I want to thank you all for remembering that our expenses do continue throughout this time as we look for ways to stay connected. So let's take a moment now to bless our tithes and love offerings, placing them in our hands, either literally or figuratively, or next to our hearts as we say our offertory prayer. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. Thank you, God.
All right, what we have here is love, joy, kindness, forgiveness, and compassion. It's a long list. And the nice thing about it is you get to repeat that list after I sing it. So I'm going to sing love, joy, kindness, forgiveness, and compassion. And you sing it right back at me. Love, joy, kindness, forgiveness, and compassion. It's kind of like row, row, row your boat, only a little more complicated. Actually, it's probably simpler because we're not rowing. We're just going to sing. And that's so it's like walking and shooting. Forget it. And it's a nice little beat, so we'll be all fine with all that. So it's just going to work. Here we go. Love, joy, kindness, forgiveness, and compassion. Joy, kindness, forgiveness, and love, joy, kindness, forgiveness, and compassion. There's just a few things one needs to survive. A little water, a little shelter can keep us alive. To live a full life, one needs much more than that. We all know where to find it. We all know where it's at. 'Cause it's love, joy, kindness, forgiveness, and compassion. Joy, kindness, forgiveness, and love, joy, kindness, forgiveness, and compassion. Joy, kindness, forgiveness, and compassion. Well, love keeps us happy and joy sets us free. They go well together like two fish in the sea. Love is never ending, a lifetime supply. Love keeps on giving even after we die. For it's love, joy, kindness, forgiveness, and compassion. Joy, kindness, forgiveness, and love, joy, kindness, forgiveness, and compassion. Joy, kindness, forgiveness, and compassion. Well, kindness and forgiveness is no mystery. They all connect us all together in one family. Give up a smile, forget words spoken haste. There's a lot to forgive, and there is no time to waste. For it's love, joy, kindness, forgiveness, and compassion. Joy, kindness, forgiveness, and love. Joy, kindness, forgiveness, and compassion. Joy, kindness, forgiveness, and compassion. Well, compassion is a virtue, and use it with grace. Don't let it be afraid. Let it show up on your face. For someone in need could use some respect. We all come away with much more than we expect. With love, joy, kindness, forgiveness, and compassion. Joy, kindness, forgiveness, and love. Joy, kindness, forgiveness, and love. Joy, kindness. How about a live fade? Love, joy, kindness, forgiveness, and love. Joy, kindness, forgiveness, and compassion.
Thank you, Michael. So I'm going to scroll. How many of you enjoyed thinking about your joys? Was that a meaningful exercise for you? I see some hands, some thumbs up. Good, 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 good. Yeah, just a reminder that all we have to do to feel better is to think about what it is that brings us joy and rediscover how many things there are. So join with me in blessing our offering, which I think has a lot of aspects of joy to it. Spirit of the loving and the living God, bless the acts of our hands, our minds, our hearts. May everything offered here at Unity Spiritual Center be a reflection of all that is good within us. Grant us the courage to patiently listen for the stirring of your presence. Enliven our spirits with humor. Fill us with reverence for one another and gratitude for our diversity. May unity, beauty, and truth be the fruit of all we do. And so it is. Amen. So just two main announcements today. One is that we are having our New Year's Eve service. It's our dissolving bowl ceremony, as Marcy put on the slide. And it will be at 5 o'clock this Thursday, which is New Year's Eve. And if you've ever been to a burning bowl ceremony, it will be very similar. You're going to want to, I didn't do the acronym in my head before I said this, but just like Christmas Eve was bring your own candle, this is going to be bring your own bowl of water. So whatever the letters are for that, everybody come equipped with your bowl of water. And we will do the same thing we always do in this beautiful ceremony. We will be writing down what we wish to release from 2020. We'll be dissolving it, and then we'll write a letter to God that you will put in an envelope and seal and self-address. If you want us to send it back to you, all you have to do is put it through our mail slot at your convenience. Whenever it works for you, whenever you're in the area, just drop that in the mail slot and we will hold on to it until next December and send it back to you. You should have gotten your little packet already if you've been attending services regularly. Just know that if you received the Thanksgiving gratitude booklet, you will be automatically receiving a New Year's Eve packet that has those elements in it along with a white stone. If you made a special request for it, you should also be receiving one. And I think, Jerry, how many extra ones do you have? Did you say? I know you said you had a couple at least. You've got 2 or 3? 2? Okay. Yeah. So if you don't make it on either one of those lists, but you would like to attend on New Year's Eve, please let us know and we can get that out to you. Hopefully you'll receive it by Thursday, but we would need to hear from you right away. But we're looking forward to that. And the white stone that's in the packet is for the white stone ceremony, which is going to be next Sunday. So as I always do, I'll be leading you next Sunday through the white stone ceremony. And then if you'd like to, on Zoom, following the service, we can start work on a vision board. We may not finish it, but maybe we'll get started or at least talk about what we'd like to see in 2020. So that's what's coming up. I think that is everything to let you know about. As always, as you can see on the slide, we will be continuing with our daily word reading and guided meditation. It's actually Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. We just didn't do it Christmas Day, but we will be doing it on New Year's Day. So Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And somebody is asking if the vision board is after the New Year's event or after service. It's after service next Sunday, Judy. Yeah. So do consider joining us for that. And with that, we will now see what kids are here. I see Alonzo and Santiago, and I bet Alex is here too. There he is. So we've got all the big boys with us, and please join with me in blessing them. We love you. We bless you. We appreciate you, and we behold the presence of God in you, empowering you to do great things. So let's sing our peace song.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be, with God as creator, family all are we. Let me walk with my family in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me.
So as we go forward into this day, into this week, and soon into a new year, let us remember that we can always choose joy, that no matter what is going on in our lives, there is always something from our joy list, whether it's one that we've written down or one that's in our heart. There is always something that we can focus on to bring us joy. And one of the great joys of our lives is the knowledge that the light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us, and the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is. Wherever I am, God is, and all is well. Thank you, God. Thank all of you for joining us today. And if you'd like to hang out with us in a few minutes, just stay on the Zoom link, grab a cup of coffee, and we'll be holding our usual Zoom fellowship in just 3 minutes. So I will see you soon.
It started.
There's a free Marianne Williamson thing today at 5 o'clock Pacific time. So if anybody wants to be there, it's a Zoom link. Okay. Bye.
All right, we'll see what we have for the next few minutes until we begin. And I'm just deciding right now what to play. Did not even. I said I'm going to go with whatever comes up on my. Oh gosh, there's a couple good things to do. We're gonna go do some Louis Armstrong. That's what we're gonna do. And here we go. Find the right little tempo for that. Yes. Louis Armstrong. Give me a kiss to build a dream on, and my imagination will thrive upon that kiss. Sweetheart, I ask no more than this, a kiss to build a dream on. Give me a kiss before you leave me, and my imagination will feed my hungry heart. Leave me one thing before we part, a kiss to build a dream on. When I'm alone with my fancies, I'll be with you, weaving romances, making believe they're true. Give me your lips for just a moment, and my imagination will make that moment live. Give me what you alone can give, a kiss to build a dream on. Let's play. When I'm alone with my fancies, I will be with you, weaving romances and making believe they're true. Give me your lips for just a moment, and my imagination will make that moment live. Give me what you alone can give, a kiss to build a dream on. Skabagulya skadua, skazado do do. Skabadoo you doop do you doop do. That's what I'm talking about. A kiss to build a dream on. Little Satchmo.
I like that scatting that you did. that was cool.
Yeah, he was noted for that, so I stole a couple of riffs.
We need more of that. I love it. Yeah, Ron liked it too. Excellent. So, how is everybody doing? Did you have a nice Christmas?
Indeed.
Yeah, a different Christmas, of course, because of the pandemic, but still joyous.
Mhm.
And now we look toward the new year. So, what I thought we could talk about, and we don't have to, but I'm starting to think about New Year's resolutions, New Year's intentions, things that I'd like to see in 2020. So I thought that, bye, Valerie. Yeah, and Michael, if you want to go too, hang out with Zane, you go ahead.
Exactly what's going on.
And I'll be in touch, Michael. Have fun. But I thought we could talk about kind of what's on our mind for that. Is it different because of the pandemic, or do you have a big long list, or do you have any rituals that you usually bring in the new year with? Thought it might be fun to get some ideas and just see where people are at with that. Any thoughts or comments?
I'll say something.
Yeah.
Robert, it's great to see everybody. I just wanted to say Merry Christmas, a little bit late for everybody. And we definitely are going to have a gratitude list, not just a vision board, but a gratitude board, and kind of like do it as a family together. So we're really going to focus on that, especially everything that we just are very, very grateful for.
Awesome.
And so I really loved all that you talked about today, Reverend Maggie, because we've been really talking about that. So one of the things, I don't know why, just for many years, I haven't really allowed myself to have a lot of like joy, in the sense of maybe, I don't know. And of course, this was like maybe subconscious, but didn't think maybe that I deserved it or something. And so I've always wanted a piano. Always, like, since it's part of, like, since I was little. And so this year finally I ended up getting an electronic piano. I'm so happy.
Yay.
So
Excellent.
just being able to play, I don't know how to play, but I'm gonna learn. So,
Good.
yes. So
Oh.
I just wanted to tell everybody that I'm so grateful for all of you. And I'm going to get going so that, we can have some breakfast as a family.
Sure.
But I wanted to say to everybody that each and every one of you have been extremely important for my life, and for, of course, our family's life. And just, we love you all very much. And to have a wonderful, very, very wonderful New Year's. And well, I'll see you at the celebration, but
Excellent.
it's been so beautiful to have and see you all here every
too,
week. So thank you very much for that. We
Thank
love you all.
And love to your big boy and your little boy.
Right.
Although he's getting pretty big too. Alex is getting pretty big too. But we love you.
I love you guys too. And he's been right now cracking me up. He's reading a book and he just like laughs, out of nowhere. So the joy that he's been bringing, for sure. We couldn't do this without kids. You know what I mean? They're so awesome. They're just so funny. And kittens, of course, and puppies.
Always kittens.
Yes. But I just thank you all for just being amazing, and the people that you are. So
thank you, Annette. You too. You too. We'll see you Thursday night.
Thursday night. Thank you so much, guys. Okay. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
I have to go too. Thank you, everyone.
All right. Bye, Judy. Good to see you. Have fun with your bunnies.
Thank you.
Let's see here.
Just say I have to go too.
All right,
Merry
it's gonna be a
Christmas
small
to
group.
everybody.
Merry
Happy New
Christmas,
Year.
people.
See you Thursday night.
See you
And I love
Thursday.
Randy's puppy.
Yeah,
This is Shirley. I have been away because I took a phone call, and now I'm going to need to make another one for a Zoom at 12:30. So I'm going to disappear too. But I do have a question.
Yeah.
I tried to log in Christmas Eve and I couldn't. So was there a problem?
Shirley, I saw that you had, because I get notifications sometimes when you were an hour late. We started our service at 5. And your login was
Oh,
at
I
6.
thought it was 6.
Yeah, that's
Oh, no
why.
wonder. Thank God.
Yeah.
Okay,
But
that takes.
it'll be 5 on Thursday. So join us at 5.
Oh, okay, got it. Okay, goodbye, everybody. Take
Bye.
care. All
Have a
right,
good day.
thanks.
So thanks for sticking with me. It's going to be a smaller group, and if any other people have to leave, that's fine too. But if this is not a compelling subject, that's fine. I'm happy to leave it. But I'm thinking a lot about it personally. I'm thinking a lot about what do I want to bring into the new year, and yeah, Juanita, did you have something to say about
No,
that?
I wanted to share about the 3 acts of joy. Your physical act
Yeah,
would be dancing.
dancing.
That the moment of dance, that's where I get my physical joy from. And the feeling was for talking with my first grandchild. Talking with her on the phone gives me that inner peace and joy. And my spiritual feelings come from sitting in a special garden that I sat with my husband just before he died, and just making peace with the separation to come. And I always go back to that one place, and it's so that's my spiritual feeling comes from being in this one place, this one garden in Elk Grove, that's at a assist living place. And it, it just melts away all other bad emotions.
Oh, good. That's so nice to have a special place like that.
Yeah.
Did you enjoy like
Secret
going
garden.
through the different kinds of joys? Because sometimes we don't think about that. We don't think about, there are different ways of accessing joy. And
Right. Yeah. That's a good way to think about it,
yeah, well, good. Thank you for
A
sharing that
physical,
with us.
mental, and
Awesome.
Reverend
Yeah,
Maggie, may I share something really quick?
please do, Brock. Yeah. You froze a little bit. Let's see. You're still frozen.
I really loved your talk about joy. To hear me?
Oh, I can. Yeah, thank you.
Oh, okay, good. Okay. I just wanted to say thank you for your joy talk today. It was a wonderful talk, and really is something that I want to continue. Before I go to sleep, I meditate and I say my prayers. But before I close my eyes completely, to take that last deep breath before I go to sleep, I have this memory, and it's so wonderful that we can have these memories in our minds. But it brings me the most joy, and it's seeing my previous dog, Chessie, that died 9 years ago.
Wow.
But we would love to go to Lake Merced because she loved to swim. And she would jump out of the car and more, and she would run back up to the hill, and I would see her up at the hill looking at me like in anticipation of, come on, Daddy, let's go, let's go. And this big, bright smile on her
That's cute.
face. And I see that in my mind every.
Yeah, that's beautiful. That is beautiful. It was interesting to see how many animal lovers we do have in our community. I really loved seeing that. I think everybody here, and it's special, isn't it, Brock? Whenever people lose an animal that's really close to them, I know from personal experience, they will come back to us, whether it's in a memory like you just talked about or in a dream. Our animal companions do stay with us, which is comforting, I think. I still remember my very first cat, Luna, who was tiny, but she was fluffy. So people thought she was bigger, including the other cats, I think. And she was kind of a bully. Scott did not like her at all, but that's because she loved me so much. And she would literally jump over his head to get to me on the bed.
No.
But yeah, I still think about her. And yeah, animals are special. It's a special kind of joy.
They are. I'm actually next door at my neighbor's house. They're gone for Christmas, and so I'm watching over their 2 cats. And so that's the cat you see. He keeps jumping all over me. But they're a joy also. But I'm actually next door to my house.
Oh, that's neat. Yeah, well, that library is awesome with the ladder even. That's pretty cool.
Oh, he has a wonderful, look at this library.
That's
You see
amazing.
that?
Oh my gosh, look at that. It just goes on forever. That is cool.
Wow. Wow.
That is very cool.
He's a big book reader.
Yeah.
I could imagine. Yes, he definitely.
I love it. I love it. So are people thinking about New Year's resolutions at all, or not really? No intentions? Words for the year? Anybody do a word for the year?
Quality rather than quantity.
Yeah, that's true.
I said, remind, I experienced this year, particular, much more joyful, things that have come to me for the holidays, that correspondence from people that I got disconnected from past couple of years after moving. And I've been reaching and reaching for a whole lot of people. And my son says, just stick to the few that have come into you. And I got 2 cards, both from a Pam, and I couldn't remember who the Pam was. One had a husband, I guess, a name attached to it, and it took me forever to figure it out. And he says, okay, he says, Mom, you've been searching for new relatives and everything for the last couple of years. He says, you need to find these Pams that's important to you now. He said, find the Pams in your lives. Don't look for somebody else, And he said, just remember that quality that you bring will outlast the quantities in your life. So
I
like that. That is what's called quality more than quantity.
Juanita, yeah, you have a lot of energy to even have a problem with quantity.
Yeah. Why am I searching? That's what we're searching, but I got so much on my plate as it is now.
Yeah, that's very inspirational that you have that ability to touch so many people. And I had a question about how you're doing with your prayer from last week about maybe getting into people's lives more than the people want.
Okay. I have to find that serenity prayer. I know I've said it, it's called, but I've never been able to memorize it, as much as other prayers I do. I'm constantly saying, the Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. And I say that every day, several times a day. But the serenity prayer is what I have to dig up. I have to stamp it on my forehead. And thanks for reminding me, because I've got to work on that. Trying to be a little bit more content with the here and now, and rather than projecting out to the good things I want to see and trying to beat myself down when it doesn't happen. So that's something I have to work on for 21. And maybe if I can get back to my gypsy life and get on the road, maybe I can escape from some of these things that's smothering me right now. I just want to get on the road and travel.
Mm-hmm. Juanita, I remember something that you said earlier this year that really stuck with me, is that you felt this year brought a lot of magic to you, that things were feeling magical. That was very beautiful, and I try to look for that as well.
Yeah. I'm seeing that even with my daughter. And I woke up yesterday morning thinking about, I knew we were going to go for a ride. So I was in my mind figure out where do I want to go. And the first thing I said, I want to drive up to the cliff and, see from the cliff house, see the waves and everything. Yeah. And then a little while later, my daughter-in-law came to me and she says, oh, well, you're going to be ready for your ride and everything? I said, yeah. She says, we're going up to the cliff house. I said, oh my God, are you, no, you're not reading my mind, are you? I mean, I don't want everybody to be in my mind, and so it was just a joy to me thinking that here she knew what I was thinking, what I wanted that very moment. I wanted to we went to the cliff house last night, and the moon is almost full, and it was such a light out there. Yeah, sad to see that Cliff House is closed, the restaurant is closed, but they were still being out there to enjoy the walk around the building and the, a few people on the beach with lights. It was a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
That was my first wish of the almost the end of the year. I've done all my, what this says, all my wishing for the year is now over. So next week.
I wanted to share, Juanita, you said something about being in the moment, and I wanted to repeat today's daily word scripture from Isaiah, because I just want to read the little scripture and one sentence beyond that, because it really meant something to me today. So it says from Isaiah 43:18, it says, "No need to recall the past, no need to think about what was done before. See, I am doing a new deed, even now it comes to light. Can you not see it?"
That means something to me. Thank you. Thank you for that.
Thought about that when Brock was talking about his memories of his dog. And so memories can be wonderful. I mean, they can really be a source of joy and comfort, but to get stuck. So I heard it back in, keep reliving those painful ones. We don't need to do that. And I heard somebody describe something as the wreckage of her future. So, about how we can project.
Wow.
We hear the wreckage of our past, but she said the wreckage of her future.
That's not what you want to do.
Right. Yeah. So it can go both ways. I wanted to share that so this was the first Christmas Eve I've been physically alone in 70 years since I've been born. And yet I wasn't alone. I had our wonderful service. I did a couple of Zoom meetings. I did a Zoom yoga class earlier in the day. And then at the end of the evening, before I was getting ready to go to bed, I was completely surprised, but my son was able to FaceTime me from the ship that he's on.
Wow.
It was just such a lovely, I mean, it was totally out of the blue. And it was just so wonderful. And so I've been thinking about, I spent Christmas Day with my wonderful 90-year-old aunt. And, but I've been thinking about being alone for the first time on Christmas Eve and how I had a wonderful day and how I can carry that ability to be alone, but through Zoom and we've had family Zooms and FaceTimes, and through, again, as we were saying, being grateful for the technology to be able to stay connected in so many ways in spite of being physically alone. And I'm just so grateful for that I could be okay being alone and yet feel so connected. And again, as I've shared a million times, this being part of Unity has been a huge part of that and my, the expansion of my spiritual life. It just segued, and I was thinking back on, because before I was a member of a Unitarian church years ago, and I loved it. And when I was looking for a spiritual home in San Francisco, I thought about the Unitarian church, but it was huge, and it just seemed like such a big freaking deal. And then I thought, wait a minute, I've met Maggie. I know this building, from my fellowship. So, well, let me check it out. And I got there. I was immediately home. And it's almost a year later. And it's just how God works in those mysterious ways to bring me back into this congregation, which has been an absolutely perfect fit for where I am right now. So I don't need to make a New Year's resolution.
Yeah.
The good stuff, right? Take the best and leave the rest, right? Plenty for 2020 actually to bring forward. Plenty to leave, but plenty to bring, and that's what I intend to do. So,
Randy, I picture your son in his jet and zooming with you while he's flying around.
Actually, it's a cargo plane. It's not a jet, but yes, he's in his.
Even more room for a zoom camera in a cargo jet.
Yes, he's actually done. What's the little camera that you put the what's it called? GoPro?
GoPro, yeah.
He wore a GoPro and did a GoPro of him landing on the carrier.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
That'd be
And
cool.
it is awesome. I'll try and find it. It's great.
Yeah, can you share that with us?
I'm going to try and find it. Yeah, I'm going to try
Okay,
and
that'd be neat.
find it. It was the coolest. Okay.
That reminds me of a joyous memory I have. I was in, this was in the early 90s, and I took a trip to Australia, and I went with a friend to Uluru or Ayers Rock, and then we were flying back to Sydney, and I heard the guy, the pilot on the intercom, and it was clear this man was from Texas. So I pulled the flight attendant over and I said, tell the pilot he's got another Texan on board, because I went to high school and lived in Texas a number of years. He invited me, this was of course before 9/11, he invited me to the cockpit to fly into Sydney. So I had the full cockpit view of that landing. It was so awesome. And of course now it would never be able to happen, but that was a very special moment. Yeah, very cool.
Yeah, Maggie, that reminds me of a trip. I was in Washington D.C. and I took a bus down to the Air Force base in West Virginia, and at a Christmas party there, I met the Attorney General, this doctor, who was we was chatting and everything, and he said he was going back to Washington the next day or that night or something. And I said, oh, I've got to go back to Washington myself from Virginia to meet my husband. But I just didn't, it was so hot in December. It was just really miserable on the bus and everything. And so he said, well, why do you have to do that? He says, I can take you on the plane, And I said, oh no, really? So I was with my cousin who was a colonel, and they got to talking, and they arranged for me to meet him. So this two, I think it was just a two-seater. He flies, and it was at night. We got on the plane and we flew across the Pentagon. Oh, what a sight that was in the middle of the night with all the lights on. To be with this one major person, and we landed right down to Air Force One. We parked right next to Air Force One. Wow. And when I got up to go get off the plane, I looking for my camera to take a picture of the one, the plane. Right. And he says, oh, honey, he said, you can't do that. Because right away we'd have, if they saw you coming with a camera or something out of one plane, they would be, the guards would be out. But that was just a memorial debut for me, flying over the Pentagon at night with all the lights, one jet landing next to the Air Force One. That was a big memory. That was very special. I was back home in Washington, D.C., safe and sound.
Wow. What year was that?
Oh, let's see. 80, somewhere in the the 80s, early part of the 80s.
Yeah.
Had you ever flown in a small jet? You're pretty brave if you hadn't.
No, I've been on I've been at the helicopter a few times, and my cousin up in Reading, he's a doctor, orthopedic surgeon, and he has to fly to different rural areas, a lot of places. And so he's taken me up in his air, and I have been in an airplane with someone here in the Marin County, but the helicopter rides were the most fun. Yeah, and he has a pad, a landing pad right in their yard.
Wow.
So he parked his car out in the hamper in Red Bluff, Red Bluff area. With that. But I've done some daring things. I've been on the trams, the Niagara Falls. You see there's a tram that goes over the waterfall and everything. Now that's scary.
Get in a barrel.
Well, it's just a landing platform. But
if anybody could do it, Juanita could.
Oh,
I love it. That's neat.
Plus going under the Golden Gate Bridge, and there's an area where you can dispose of ashes.
Mm.
And it's choppy waters right in that area, and that's scary. And I went out and with 3 or 4 other people, and I told my husband, I said, no, one of us has to stay, because I didn't know how that trip would be. Said, you have to stay on board, on deck, on the pier. And I got on and was looking around, and I turned back around, and my husband, after we had taken off, my husband was I said, oh my God, no, not both of us. So those were joyous but scary moments in my life, up in the sky and in the water. So I don't know. I'm looking for a few more adventures, but
what's something on your bucket list? What's one of your adventures?
Well, my last one was that first time that my bucket list was to walk the Golden Gate Bridge, and I'd been here all my life and had never done it.
Oh, yeah.
And so I did it beginning of this year. I made my first walk across the bridge.
That's great. Wow.
Yeah.
What about you, Brock? Do you have a bucket list item that you want to do?
I really don't, but I will say I've thought about what Juanita just talked about. Is I've never walked across the Golden Gate Bridge before.
Do it, Brock. It's a breeze. It's a breeze.
And I live right here next to it, so I'm going to do that.
Oh my goodness, yeah. And it was, and during the pandemic, there's hardly anybody walking at that Saturday. I mean, we were like almost like a lonely person. But it was a great feeling because you didn't have the mirage of people all around you, walking. You can find an isolated time. That the greatest feeling in the world. So you do that.
I was crossing it. I cross it a lot. I'm selling a house over in Vallejo right now, so I've been driving over there a lot. And I go that route rather than the East Bay route.
Right.
And I was just telling myself in my mind last week, I got to walk across this bridge someday. So.
I'll walk with you if it was
okay. I'll contact you, Juanita.
That'd be great.
Listen, I'm going to have to go also and go back to my house next door and walk my doggies and say goodbye to these kitty cats for a little while. They're so much fun to be here. Maggie, may I connect with you this week?
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay, I'll message you.
So that sounds good. Yeah.
All right. God bless you all. All right. Bye-bye.
And Randy, do you have a bucket list item?
Well, yeah, yes and no. So I've never jumped out of jumped out of an airplane.
Wow.
And
that's a big one.
And I do want to do it. And now that it's tandem jumping, that's not my problem. But I also have vertigo. So I'm like, okay, if I take enough Dramamine, maybe I won't.
No.
So I'm thinking. So I think instead I'll take a trip to the Galapagos. That's another bucket list item. So I think maybe that's a little. Maybe I'll do that once we can travel again. Yeah.
We were supposed to go to Machu Picchu and the Galapagos this year. So yeah, kind of a bummer, but it'll happen sometime. Yeah. Yeah. We just have been trying to take Chloe different places so she has so she has a really good sense of the world and has a much better sense than I did when I was her age. I didn't start traveling internationally till I was in my 20s, but yeah, she's seen the world. So
what's your bucket list?
What is my bucket list? I want to write a play. I know I want to write a play, but different kind of writing for me, but I love theater, and so that's something I want to do. I am thinking about some kind of business. I don't know if it's a business or if it's a ministry or what it is, but I love, of course, art, and I love artisans, and I love women who are trying to support themselves through their art. So I want to do something with handcrafts, women in other countries. And I actually just on a whim, not a whim, but I hadn't thought it fully through, but I wrote an email to one of our congregants' sisters who has a organization in Guatemala. Lynn Zachariah's sister has an organization in Guatemala. And I said, I've just been thinking about this. I'd love to support artisans in some way, and maybe I could help your organization too. And so at any rate, there's something there that's germinating, but I don't know what it is exactly yet. What else? I've been really lucky to travel a lot, but always travel, always want to see places I haven't seen before. So lot of living to do still. What about you, Joe and Ruben? Do you have bucket list things?
I think for me, being able to write a children's book one day and going to New Zealand, that would be very nice.
Yes, definitely.
I'd like to go see the Aurora Borealis.
I would love to see that too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you had mentioned something, Reverend Maggie, and I wanted to comment. The artist you brought, which I didn't go to the session she offered, but she was making bracelets, and she taught us about
right.
Buddhism.
Yeah, Amy.
Buddhism. Yeah.
Amy Gollant.
I went to her to the Jewish service, and I really enjoyed that because I'd never been to a Jewish service before. So that was a nice experience.
Oh, good. Yeah, she's doing wonderful things. I mean, something that all of us could look forward to. She's been trying to get funding for this interfaith installation where she's, in case you don't know, Randy, this is a friend of mine who I've actually written about twice in 2 of my books. She's a artist here in San Francisco. She teaches at the Waldorf School. But she's taken her Jewish heritage and she's interested to see how it intersects with other faith traditions around the world. So she's primarily a metalsmith and she makes jewelry and other things, but she does really interesting combinations. Like she did the pomegranate, which is very important symbolically in the Jewish tradition. She made it into a sacred heart. So she's got like a sacred heart pomegranate. And she'll do things like that, just kind of seeing where they might fit in. So yeah, we'll definitely do something with Amy. I've been in touch with her. We'll bring her back when we open our doors again. So yeah, I'm glad you enjoyed her work. Well, I think I'm going to close us down a little bit earlier since there's just the 4 of us, but, well, 4 counting and then me. But let me ask you before I do that, do you like a non-directed hospitality hour, or do you like having a question to think about just to get conversation started? I've noticed that people usually don't want to answer the question I'm posing, and
I think you just answered your own question, Maggie.
about no.
I mean,
the reason I did that is because I didn't want somebody to dominate the conversation, and I thought if you have a topic, then each person can answer it, and we get to hear from everybody. So that's my reluctance in just letting it be a free form, is because then you get the same people talking, over and over, and I'm trying to bring other people
guilty
out.
as charged.
No. I mean, that's why I was thinking it would be helpful. But yeah, this is the smallest group we've had so far, and so I'm thinking, well, maybe people just don't want to do it. What do you think, Josephine?
Just the particular day to day. I mean, just the day after Christmas, and people have trying to fit other little activities in. So don't be discouraged. It's just the 4 or 5 of us.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Reverend Maggie, I like both. And I think what is good to have it in your back pocket, there's 2 ways, is you could have like a kind of a, these are your key questions if it's a lull. But I think what's very nice is the free form. When it does happen, it, kind of shapes itself and flows very nicely. And I think maybe another alternative for, instead of you having to come up with a topic pre service, is looking at the message of the day. And then just saying, maybe if there's just something there that relates either to the daily word or to what you're talking about, that's something that's, fresh in our minds that people can mull on. But I want to remind everyone, is like when you teach, it's the 7 or 8 second rule. it's like when you ask a question, it feels like forever. Like it's like, how come no one's asking a question? But it's just because it takes about that long to really process and pull something. And so it's kind of like letting that time pass. And either someone will come out right away and say something within 10 seconds. And if not, you know, if it does really have a lull, then you can kind of say, oh, well, what do you think of such and such? And I like how you've done that so far.
Yeah.
I think it's worked out well. But I would say probably let the group dictate for the first couple minutes, and I think it will probably flow. And then if it seems a little bit slow that day, then you can throw in a, how about this topic?
That's good. I won't lead with it. I'll keep it in my back pocket, as you said. In case we need direction, but.
Thanks, everyone.
Well, thank you all.
Thank you
all for joining and for being part of our hospitality hour. It's always good to see you. You are the regulars, so I appreciate your participation and your thoughts on that. That's helpful. So,
will everyone be there for the New Year's Eve on Thursday?
I will.
See.
Okay, we'll see you guys then.
Yeah, should be good.
Have a good week until then.
Yeah, you too. Thanks,
everybody.
everybody. Have a great day.
Enjoy.
Thank you.